week. Yeah, it's time for a redo. Thank you.
Local Wallace on the track. Love Sing. INJ Music.
Oh.
We'll say love about 50 times in 50 seconds.
Hey, how you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? We welcome you to another episode of Love Talk by Love Sync Ministries. I am Darryl McGriff, and this is
Deidre McGriff.
And we thank you for tuning in to us again at 8 o'clock, as I like to say, Texas time. We appreciate y'all being here with us as we always do. And we're sorry for the video difficulties up front. I had it all sideways like this, and then I had it like this, so I had to get it straight so y'all can see us. We looking good. You know, my hair laid. Oh, man, I don't have no hair. What I'm talking about. Hey, but we have a special guest with us today, so we're going to get into that also. So as we always do up front, let me go ahead and get into these little commercial ad spots, and we will be right back with our special guest, so y'all hold on.
Is your credit score not what it used to be? Are you ready to move forward in 2019 and do all the things you didn't do in 2018 because of your credit? Then wait no more. Your help is just a phone call away. Call Credit Man Credit Services, LLC at 866-308-5437. That's 866-308-5437. Extension 1. Change your credit, change your life. It's cold outside and you're inside trying to stay warm by the fireplace with your hot cocoa. It's time to settle down with a good book. Check out Unapologetically Gray by Tracy Demas Barley. You can get this hot new book on Amazon.com or go to TracyBarley.com. That's Tracy with the I, B-Y-E-R-L-Y. That's TracyBarley.com. Don't be left out on this conversation. Get your copy of Unapologetically Gray now. If you just started your new business and need office space, or if you have a home office and would like to meet clients or potential clients in a professional atmosphere, then go to YagerProperties.com. Check out their office buildings in Frisco, Plano, McKinney, and Allen. They are a Christian-owned company and welcome you to get your new office space or just holding meetings. Let them know Love Sync Ministries referred you and go to YagerProperties.com. That's YEAGER Properties.com.
Yes, sir. That's YagerProperties.com. That's Credit Man Credit Services and Tracy Barley, her new book. Make sure you check that out. Again, support those that support us so we can support you. So like we said, we have a special guest coming up today. And her name is, well, I ain't going to tell you her name yet. I'm just going to let you know that she's a mother of two. She says she has a sophomore in college and a sophomore in high school in Frisco. That makes her a mother. So that means she's somebody's daughter. And she's also an agent with PHP Agency. And that's what we're going to talk about. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together as we bring over Miss Tamika L. Bryan.
All right, Tamika. All this good information.
All right, Miss Tamika, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So we bringing you on because you called me trying to hook me up, but I was already hooked up. But since you had a good thing going, I said, let me get her on the show so we could talk about PHP Agency. So break it down. Tell them what PHP is all about.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to come on the show and talk about our company. Just a little bit about myself. I have been in the insurance industry for over 26 years now and been with PHP shortly around 2. And I'm very passionate about insurance. And a little bit about PHP. What we are, we're a firm that is actually rejuvenating and bringing back life to the life insurance industry as you know it.
I like that.
The company was started back in 2009 by our CEO, Mr. Patrick Bet-David, originally from Iran. And he had a vision, and it was a great vision to the point where we have grown tremendously throughout the U.S. We have offices in 49 states. And I'm a part of the #1 hierarchy in PHP EIB, led by Mr. Jason Graziani. And we're located right in our headquarters for EIB is located in Plano, Texas.
Okay, right here, homegrown. So hey, that way you know they ain't somebody from East Coast or West Coast or up in Chicago. They right here. All right, so I was looking at it on the internet and checking things out. So I see like I like your thing when you say, what is it? It says the families don't plan to fail financially. They simply fail to plan.
Exactly.
So talk about that.
Okay. Well, a lot of times individuals, they go to work and they build their nest egg, and most of them put it in a 401k for the most part, maybe a savings account or a checking account. And a lot of times they don't think outside the box and what would happen in the event they get laid off and can't work, or they get sick and can't work, or things of that nature. So they don't really have a plan in place to support their families financially in those events. And what we like to do is sit down with families and educate them on how they can put plans in place that will actually supplement their income if that does happen.
Okay, well, let's slow that down and say that one more time. Because we know whether it's one person that's taking care of kids, two people, that somewhere along the line, life is going to happen and you are possibly going to lose your job. So when you lose that job, especially in today, you have to put, it's not like it used to be back in the day. When you looking for a job, is a job.
Exactly.
So it might take you 3 or 4 or 5 months to get a job. Even if you go on unemployment, you might not even get a job and your unemployment runs out on you. So say that one more time and explain to them how what you guys do is set them up where if they lose their job, they can tap into that. So explain that to them.
Well, it depends on the product. We have, first of all, we have many different carriers that we represent.
Okay.
Around about 20 or 30 or so different carriers we represent, and they have an array of different products that they offer our clients. So of course we would first come into an individual's home or anywhere that they're comfortable, and we would sit down and educate them on what's available. We like to go through a person's finances to see what they can put away comfortably, and then on top of that, we find the right product and the right vehicle that will suit their needs. There are options and riders that you can add to the policies that will protect you in such events. So if they, for instance, choose the waiver premium rider and they get sick and can't work, or they may be in between jobs and can't pay for their premium, then at some point they will be able to put their premium on hold. The policy will not lapse, and they'll still have coverage in place for their family.
Right, that's very important right there, because we've had where her sister had insurance and then she couldn't afford it anymore and it lapsed, and then she ended up getting cancer. So that was bad.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing. So as you see how important, I don't think people realize, and maybe they don't sit down long enough to let somebody explain it to them, that these things are in place. And when you get that type of insurance on yourself, just like you do on a car or on a home, that you need to work on getting that type of insurance to protect you when something bad happens to you, just like you would if it was your home or if it was your car.
Exactly.
And so those are good sounding plans. And I know with a lot of people, just like, we just said that they are single parents trying to squeeze every dollar that they can and do what they can. So how can you work with somebody that's kind of, hey, this is all I have. So how I want this, but how can I afford this?
Well, first of all, like I say, we have several carriers that we actually represent and market for. A lot of the plans are very, very inexpensive. A person can actually choose a plan if they only want something temporary, or if they want something more permanent, they can do that as well. And of course, based on their age and their financial state, it will determine whether or not they want a permanent product or a term product. So let's say, for instance, if they want something, they want it temporary, they don't want it long term, and they're more conscious about the cost of the product, then we have several carriers that will give them a temporary product, but then they will give them all the benefits of a permanent product. So they get the best of both worlds. Okay. They don't lose out on some of those benefits that's offered through our permanent products and permanent carriers as well.
Good. So that sounds like a good plan right there. And it's one of those things where we got to change our mindset. Exactly. And so, well, one of the things in here says strength and selection. You have education. So what is the education that you're talking about here?
Well, first of all, like I said, PHP is growing rapidly in the U.S. right now. And we're looking for individuals that are looking for an opportunity to change their lives and become an entrepreneur. Okay. So not only do we educate our clients in what they can do and what's available to them, we're also looking for people that have like minds and looking to expand their minds and grow. We're looking to bring individuals onto the company, educate them on a continual basis to go out and do the same thing.
Okay, so you can be insured with them and then work with them and pay your own insurance.
Exactly.
You can't beat that. So you can do that full time or you can do it part time.
Exactly.
So you can get you, so let's say you kind of scrap for money. You got a regular 9 to 5. Then you can work for PHP to pay your own insurance. You can't beat that.
Exactly.
Ain't that nothing?
So, and what you guys do, like with the different categories and stuff that you have, education and all the different services. I was going to ask you a little bit about more of your services and tell me about.
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Here, you hold this so you'll know what you're looking at.
I want my son to hear too.
Okay.
All right, so now let's get to. So let me go back over there. So educating you would be educating you on PHP as far as the insurance, what you can do, how you can do it, the way you can do, and on top of that, educating you on how you can then be your own agent, and you paying yourself or paying your own insurance by being an agent for PHP. So when you're worried about, well, where am I going to get this extra money to do that? So they come up with a way where, and you can't find that with anybody else right now. So they come up with a way where you can be insured and then work for them to pay your own insurance. Well, you can't beat that with a baseball bat. All right, so now that's the education part. So what about the options?
Well, the options actually vary. It just depends on a family's financial needs. Some individuals may be looking for something more long-term. Some may be looking for temporary and just solutions just to solidify what they have going on in their life at that time. And then we also have options that will give a family a retirement income with these products. So the options really just vary depending on the family and their needs.
And when it comes to retirement, something we as, I don't know, I'm not going to put a class on it like I was going to say, but we as black folks, we need to start looking at our retirement plan. So when you get to a certain age, you'll have money that you can travel on, do things with, so that you don't have to still be working at 80 and 81 and 82 and working till you die. So we need to start really looking into putting money away so that we can retire and enjoy life. You don't want to work your whole life and never enjoy, never travel, never go do anything. There's people that work so hard all their life, they just work, then they just die. But you haven't even enjoyed life yet. So I really want you to think about that retirement plan so you can get to a certain age and say, you know something, I'm tired of working now. I want to be able to just get in the car with my wife and just go somewhere, hang out at a bread and breakfast, go somewhere, go see Yosemite Sam Park or whatever, the Yellowstone Park, but just be able to go do something and not worry about how it's going to get funded, that you got to keep working and working and working until you just die. I know God wouldn't want that for us, so, we need to start looking at that and thinking about that and getting our mind set on looking at retirement and how we're going to go ahead and be able to enjoy ourselves at a certain age instead of working ourselves to death.
Exactly.
All right. And then you got service. So what's the service all about?
Okay. Well, again, we come in and sit down with each individual family in the comfort of their home or any neutral location they're comfortable with, and we just explain to them the various different services that we offer through our firm. And again, we educate them on what's possible, what's needed. They tell us what they're looking for and their intentions, and then we offer them a vast array of our services.
Okay, all right. So, hey, did you have any other questions there, lady?
No, I think it's a good program. And let me ask you this, because it reminds me of Primerica. Y'all similar to them at all?
We are similar in a few ways, but different in many. And one of the things I like about PHP, like I said, we have many different offerings that we can provide our clients. We specialize in life insurance, but we also do debt settlement, tax resolutions. We also do college savings plans for kids if someone wants to put a plan in place for their child while they're young in planning for college. If they choose not to go to college, that's fine too, because our products do not just hold them to college. And then, of course, we also do retirement planning, which is very key in today's society.
Wow, debt settlement.
Yeah, I'm going to break all that down that she just said. So let's go back. Well, everybody kind of know about life insurance as, you know, in general, because somebody's always trying to sell them insurance. So we're not going to go over that. But, okay, go ahead if you want to say something.
One thing I will say, the carriers that we market for has made some very, very significant changes to life insurance. And in the past, most people knew life insurance to be just a term product or a whole life product.
Right.
And those were the typical two policies that most people are known for. But today, we actually have an IUL, which is really the Cadillac to insurance products now. And the policies and this particular product is so dynamic. People can actually use this product now while they're still alive. So in the past, where a term policy, you would only have coverage temporarily, and when you pass, your beneficiaries will get the money, pretty much as well as a whole life. Well, now you can actually use the IUL while you're still living, not only when you get sick or you can't perform 2 of the 6 daily living functions, but you can also, like I said, use it as a retirement vehicle. If you worked all your life and didn't put the adequate amount of money into Social Security and you're not really banking on getting a lot monthly once you turn 65 or 70, whatever age you decide to retire, but you were able to put an IUL in place in advance enough time to give you the income that you wanted to live properly, you will be able to use this money in this particular plan, through life insurance, and an IUL to fund your retirement.
Okay, so what does IUL stand for?
Index Universal Life.
Yes, I never heard that before.
Exactly.
Index Universal Life.
So that's
like I said, term and whole is what you usually hear.
Exactly.
Okay, so they got the good so there was a difference in the education on life insurance, because like I said, most of us are always used to hearing term and whole, but now you got IUL, so that's there actually do another one in there for you that you can look at, so take advantage of. Also, now debt settlement. So what do you actually do, or what do y'all do in the debt settlement round? What do y'all do for y'all your clients there?
We actually have a couple of different marketers we represent, and all we do is take basic information and we submit that to our business partner, and they will handle everything from there. So you would tell them everything that's going on in your situation. You don't have to give me any information, and they will handle it from there. So your information will be handled directly with our business partner, and they will tell you what plans they can put in place and how they can help you become debt free in as little as 3 to 5 years.
Do you have a particular company that you mainly use? Or?
Yes. And I actually have a website for that too.
Okay. All right. Now the problem, and then on the tax resolutions, how's that?
Same situation. We have a third party carrier that we market for, and you will call that individual. I can just contact you with them, and then they will actually give you a call, and you go over all of your situation and everything you have going on with the IRS, and they will tell you what they're able to do and how they're able to set up monthly payments, and you can just start paying back the IRS through them.
Okay, good.
So the people that do what you do, or I'm sure they have to be licensed.
Yes, ma'am.
First. Life insurance for the life insurance, right? And what else do they have to
of the qualifications?
Yeah.
For the agent?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our life insurance, anybody that would like to come on and be a part of PHP, they, of course, cannot have any background issues with the state because this is a legitimate business. And, of course, you have to go through strategic background checks and, of course, fingerprinting in order to be able to be licensed. So it's not like, we just doing it on our own. You have to be licensed.
Exactly.
And then after that, you have to, of course, pay the fee to take your test. You have to be licensed. So you have to secure a life insurance license. Now, of course, the health insurance license is optional, but you do have to pass your life insurance test. And then once you do that, you just continue to keep it up year after. I think it's every 2 years.
Yeah,
You just have to
every 2
keep
years,
it, have to keep it renewed every 2 years.
You got to do that CE, constant education too.
Yes.
I know I'm an independent adjuster also, so I have my license. And that's one thing when it comes to insurance and insurance, anything with to deal with insurance that you might have your hands in, Texas don't play that. So you will be licensed and you will be tested and you will have to keep up with stuff. So they don't play that. So when it comes to insurance, and these people have their license, so then they can trust them because Texas don't play when it comes to insurance. That's for sure.
Exactly.
I see here we got the 6 steps towards reaching your financial goals. You don't have to go into each one of them, but what are those steps?
Okay, just very quickly, just increasing your cash flow. Okay. So again, once you put the plan in place that you want, and then one of our agents can come in, we sit down and we show you how you can increase that with a lot of the products that we offer. Managing your debt, we do have, like I said, individual companies that help you manage your debt, especially a lot of unsecured debt that you just have lingering that you want to kind of take care of but don't want to pay a lot of the interest on it. Long-term planning, that would be more so on the lines of planning for retirement, putting various life insurance policies or annuities in place because we do offer annuities as well. The proper protection, just being protected against just the everyday life and situations that arise that are beyond your control. Like if you develop cancer or diabetes or things of that nature, these particular policies and what we offer can protect you in the event happens. And then having an emergency fund. A lot of times some people that you may sit down with and advisors you may sit down with want you to put all of your money into one vehicle versus trying to diversify it because you never know when a situation may arise and they advise you to put the majority of your money in a vehicle that you can't touch it right away. So we like to educate families on how, it's good to keep a portion of that set aside. So if an emergency do happen, you won't, be subjected to suffer penalties having to take the money out.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, you see that? She got it going on. She's giving you all kind of good information. Could probably be here the whole hour giving out information, but you can do better than that. Well, real quick before I wrap it up with you, I'm sitting up here looking at y'all Facebook page and got all these different videos rolling. So where's this one with Kevin Hart? What's that about?
Okay, that was our big event that happened in August. He was actually our keynote speaker.
What?
This particular year, yes.
Kevin don't know nothing about no insurance. No, I'm just kidding.
He actually helped us promote the event. So it turned out to be a phenomenal event. Every year our CEO, he picks different people to come in and be the keynote speaker during our gala night. And he chose Kevin Hart. In the first year I started, he chose Magic Johnson. So I was like, wow. Right. So it's just like every year he's always coming up with ways to make this particular opportunity in this business so lucrative.
Good. All right. So you got any more questions over there, man?
No, very good. Though.
Good. That's what So here's what we do because we want people to be able to get a hold of you, whether they want you to come and explain to them and sign them up or whether they want to be an agent. Okay. So give them all the information that they need to be able to get a hold of you.
Okay. Again, my name is Tamika Bryant. My cell phone number is 770-713-3146.
One more time.
770-713-3146. And my email address is TEMEKABRYANT02@gmail.com.
So that's Tamika Bryant 02@gmail.com. You got a Facebook page and all that stuff too, or you don't
Tamika
you don't
L.
do that?
Bryant.
Okay, Tamika L. Bryant. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. Get with her on this PHP agency. Get you like I'm trying to tell you people. Please. I'm like James Brown. I'm begging you. Please. Get you some insurance. Protect yourself because you never know what's going to happen to you. Just like my sister-in-law, I mean, she let it lapse. As soon as she let it lapse, boom, cancer got her. You don't know when you're going to get in an accident. You don't know what's going to happen to you because life does happen. And this is for you to protect yourself. As we say here all the time, understand that God loves you. You love God, his word, and most of all, love yourself. So in loving yourself, make sure that you protecting yourself. So get with somebody. If nothing else, at least get the education that she can educate you, that you can think on it, meditate on it, pray on it, and call her back later. But get this info. Talk to somebody about it. Just don't be out there talking about, I don't need no insurance. Don't do that. Don't be like that. So make sure that you get the information. Let somebody educate you. Open up your mind and be educated on things so that way you can think about it, pray on it, and you just don't close your mind off to this because it could really help you in the long run. So since I did all that talking, give out your information one more time so they can make sure they get a hold of it.
Again, Tamika Bryant, 770-713-3146.
That is, ladies and gentlemen, with PHP Agency, Miss Tamika L. Bryant. You did good. You did good. All right, we're going to bring back on this other lady. I don't know. She been hanging with me for a long time, so I guess I'll keep her. Now, we didn't do the kiss at the beginning. Come on. There you go. We got to get that in. So now that you done heard from Tamika, what you got? What you got for the hot topic of the day, ma'am?
Well, we talked last night about the Me Too, but now I want to do a different spin to the Me Too. Okay. We talked about how should the church prepare for it, but I want to put a different spin to it.
For those that weren't listening yesterday, because you know we have the Me Too movement with sexual allegations against Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and all that kind of stuff. So we were saying, so then, should there be a Me Too movement for the church? Because we know we have always hear pastors and deacons and somebody and got somebody pregnant in the church, Catholic Church molesting people. So should there be a Me Too movement in the church or Time's Up in the church? And we talked about that yesterday. So what you said you want to switch it up. So what you talking about?
So now I'm saying for me in the Me Too movement, is it I think there's also a Me Too that's going on for the church changes. There's unfortunately been a great fall away. Since I've been in I've never seen as many people falling away from the attendance, coming every Sunday, from people giving. I mean, you see such a great fall away. So are people saying that, is that beginning to be a Me Too where they're tired of, maybe they're getting, like they've gotten up to a certain point because whether it was church hurt or whatever, it looks to be something going on with people and they put up like I'm Me Too tired of everything that's going on in church. And I guess the most important thing is how do we get to better solutions to make that change? Because you see a great fall away too, that I've never seen as much of a fall away as we're witnessing now. Now, I'm not going to get into politics, but the political climate also has had a great deal of, also has influenced it, because this has been probably the most heated that we've ever seen with the political climate we've been in, with the fighting, the bickering, and and some people, it'll reached over to the church. So I'm like, oh my Lord. It's basically like some people are at a Me Too with the church right now, because I've ministered to a lot of people, and I've never ever seen such a great fall away. And what the issue is, how do we fix that?
Well, let me ask you this: you're saying a big fall away. Mm-hmm. So then, what are the people telling you? They're saying that they're not going back to church.
A lot of them, just so many reasons. The election had a big thing that upset a lot of people. With what they felt like the stance they were taking, the differences in the stance with the political candidates, obviously. Also, a great fall away with, some people feeling like, the church, the people, some of the ministers or whatever, are not serving their best interests, are not serving. It's about them, getting rich or like the church is running like a Ponzi scheme. So there's a lot of people who feel like they're not serving their best interests any, you know.
Okay.
So those are, and I'm gonna say another thing. And so I think just not getting any type of fulfillment out of it, and that saddens me, because a lot of people don't feel like they're getting something out of it like they were at one time. So you see a lot of people who the attendance is down and the giving is down, unprecedented in that we've seen.
And we talked about it yesterday. And again, that's why we are doing Love Saint Ministries. Love Talk. Everything is about love, because as I told you, and I tell the testimony that when God woke me up 3 o'clock in the morning, now just get ready to go on 4 years ago, saying that the pastors, preachers, teachers, churches, the body of at whole are not teaching my love. They're not teaching my love. So since they're not teaching my love, that's why people are doing what they're doing. That's why the preachers are making it about them and not the people, because as we always say, understand that God loves you, you love God, His word, and yourself. So if people or the pastors in the church are supposed to be sent of God, so they're sent of love to be over His people, He wants that pastor to show His people His love. That way then they will truly know He loves them. You love the thing that loves you. If you don't love me, you think I'm going to love you back? See what I'm saying? So that's why we always say, understand and know that God loves you. So then that way you will love God, His word, and yourself. So since preachers are not teaching that, they're making sermons and everything about them, and the church about them, then how can you show love to God's hurting people? And that's why we sit up here and I got frustrated, about to get teary-eyed, because here you are supposed to be a man of God showing God's love. You're sitting out here looking in all these faces, but you're making it so much about you that you can't see the hurt and you can't meet their need in love because you're making it about you.
Well, and I'm going to go and get to one particular area I think would be of a big help. Sometimes the simplicity of serving is what I think would help, because when I listen to people a lot, because I'm listening to them because I'm learning from them. Mm-hmm. And what people are saying, and they don't really say this, but they really are saying this, is you as leaders, we have to serve. Mm-hmm. And so I think if people see us serving, because so much now is, you know, sometimes we have this superstar status thing. And so, and I'm not knocking mega church or anything like that. Because it don't matter if it's big, the church is big or small. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is a servant's heart. Mm-hmm. So a servant, just like Jesus was, he came and he served. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the thing that people are also missing, is even with any great leadership. If you find any great leader, they're a servant leader because they understand the importance of serving people. And I think that's huge, because a lot of people, if you put it on a practical level, a lot of people would be more receiving if they saw us more as servants, as serving. You see what I'm saying? Not, it's just like even in leadership, it's the same thing. If they see you here and then them there, it's very hard for people to feel that you're approachable. And so just like when Jesus came, you know, he was a great servant. He served. And there was so much humility and everything. And so I think that's huge in how, you know, it needs to be more relatable, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have your armor bearer and all these things, but sometimes we kind of get a little bit twisted a little bit, right? And we have to balance that scale again and realize, you know, just pure servantry, it can really turn the heart of people when they see us serving and everything. Just that humility that is exhibited. And, you know, and like I said, just like with the love, you know, the practicality of that, you know, like I said, just the kindness, the serving, the patience, you know, it's not the big, it's just those small characteristics that we're missing that could be just so impactful. And so also I, listen, and a lot of it, because see, here's the thing that's true. And there's been a saying that says people will forget, people will forget what you did and everything, but people will not forget how you made them feel. Mm-hmm. So when you're going to any church or ministry or whatever, people, they really don't forget how they're made to feel. Mm-hmm. And it's that way in anything. It's just like if you at a company or job or your friend, some people you just never forget how they made you feel. Mm-hmm. And that is more worth anything. Exactly. Just that how I was made to feel. I felt so valued. I felt supported, right? Exactly. So those are the things that people, I think, if they see that more, then their heart to be turned more. Now I'm gonna hit on another area that's caused a huge issue in this last 2 years, is the political climate. And I'm not gonna get into all that, and because it's ugly. It's very, very ugly. But I think that I'm gonna say this much: the church did a not a good job, because we marry these party lines, and guys don't want us to really marry anything but him. Exactly. So when you marry party lines and you don't stand for absolute truth, that gets you in a lot of trouble. And that has pissed a lot of people off that I've ministered to this last 2 years. Because we're supposed to stand for truth. Exactly. And there's no such thing as one party is so right. Because you got wrong on both sides, right? Exactly. The only absolute truth is what God has said. And that's him. He is the truth. He's the way, the light, and the truth. So everything else has some truth, but it's not absolute truth. Mm-hmm. And so the church gets in trouble sometimes because we marry party lines. Mm-hmm. And there's not, you got error on both sides. Mm-hmm. And if you don't see that, boy, you get yourself in trouble, because there's issues, I can guarantee you, on both sides. Exactly. And so we should always be seeker of not some truth, but we should be following the truth. And we should be following the truth, which is Christ. He is the truth. Exactly. Every party got some truth. Exactly. And so when they see that we don't take a stand for truth and we just so slanted on certain things, that has upset a lot of people. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've talked to tons of people like, I'm not going back. Whoa. Because they got so upset by certain people being adamant about that one stand. Exactly. And I think that we've done a disservice in that way. Mm-hmm. And obviously there are certain principles that are very true. Mm-hmm. And, on some sides. But I think that you just got to be careful, because you don't want to get married to those things. Exactly. As believers, we got to just stick with the word. And whatever that truth fall, that's the way you go. Mm-hmm. I don't care what way it fall. The truth is always the truth. Exactly. So that's why I say we have to be very, very careful, because these are some very delicate times. Exactly. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, so, you know what I'm going to say on this. Like I always say, that's why God put that on my heart. Being black or being white. Being a Cowboy fan or being an Eagles fan. Being a Republican or being a Democrat. Being a Texan or being from Atlanta, from Georgia. All those are just descriptions of stuff. See what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with what God wants us to be, which is love. See, you could be any one of those things, but what it should be first, especially as children of God, we are always supposed to present the love of God before anything else. So I can be black and still be presenting the love of God to all people. I can be a Cowboys fan and still present God in love to even Eagles fans. You see what I'm saying? I can be a Republican but still be showing God's love to everybody. Those are just descriptions, but the love of God is what it is. And that's what we should be doing. That's why people get messed up and do the things that you're saying they're doing, because they're not showing the true love of God. They get into the selfish part. That's why we say go to 1 Corinthians 13 and put that in your house, in your door, in your wallet, wherever. Because see, when you walk in God's love, you're going to be walking in patience, walking in kindness, And one of the things it says, love is not selfish or self-seeking. So if love is not selfish or self-seeking, you can't be in a pulpit and then make it about you and how you preach and how you made this church and how it can't be about you. Then you're not walking in love. That's why we always tell everybody, go to 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 through 11. Get that love walk. Get that in your spirit. That way you will constantly walk in the love of God. You will be that love of God to everybody and everything. So it doesn't make no difference what your descriptive thing is. You will always be walking in God's love, and you will always show people, whether they're saved or unsaved, God's love on a constant and continuous basis. And again, how we say with KISS, keep it simple, saints. It's just that simple. All God called us to do is just love people the way he's loved. Because a lot of people might not have never seen love or were shown love their whole entire life. And that love will change things. All through the Bible, it will show you how love changed things. We know a lot of people get caught up in the term or the old saying of prayer changes things. But if you don't love somebody, you're not going to pray for them. If you don't really have a love for them, then what does your prayer really mean? So that's why it's have to be walking in a God's love and love people like God loves people. And that's what's going to change everything. That's what changed your heart. That's what changed me. That's what it changed anybody. Because you truly now love as God loves you. And that's the game changer through everything that we do from this point on. And like I said, then it wouldn't be, it makes no difference if you're a Republican or a Democrat because you love first. And if they both love first as God love and not be about them, but like you said, about other people, then that's what changes the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to, that's another problem too, when everybody wants to be right.
Yeah.
Okay? Because when you want to, everybody can't, when we all want to be right, see, we win the battle, but we lose the war. And unfortunately, we're losing the war because everybody wants to be right. And that's unfortunate because sometimes you have to, it's just like if you go into any company and you already know we're in these meetings and you go over plans for the year and where we want to be, where the company want to be, you look at big picture things, right? And so some things you let go because there's a bigger picture in mind. And so that's how we have to be even in the body, like, what's the bigger picture in mind? Like, or do you want to be right? Or do you want to, lose the war here? And so sometimes we're winning the battle, but we're losing the war because we're majoring on the minor and minoring on the major. Mm-hmm. And so that's what's getting us in a lot of trouble because like you said, at the end of the day, all that matters is love first before all of that other stuff, right?
Exactly. Because like I said, love is not selfish, so it's not about you. You always think about the other person. And we say this over and over and over. See, we almost say this just about every show, every other show. If my love for you is all about you, your love for me is all about me, then we have no want. There's no want because I'm meeting all your needs. You're meeting all my needs. If there's somebody over there, then our love is towards them. What do they need? We're looking at what can we do for them? How can we set them up? See, that's love. It's not about, now how can I make myself look good by helping them? And where I can then take advantage of helping them and then go out there and promote how I helped and what I did and take pictures with them and put it on the internet showing what I did. That's not what it's about. See what I'm saying? Love is about love, loving that person and not looking for anything in return. And that's what we're supposed to be about. So if you had people, whether they're black and white, Cowboys or Eagles, Republican or Democrat, if they were all showing love to one another, then we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in now as far as political climate goes.
Yeah. And I think that, some people, I've had friends and we've had some, heated discussions and we don't agree on certain things. And so some people don't know how to let things go, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I've had very heated discussions with this election with some people. And I told her, honey, okay, you know what? We have a right to agree to disagree. Okay, next, I'm moving on. So how's your girl doing in college? I mean, literally, because some people, they can't let something go. And that's what's another breakaway because a lot of people have literally, the election has caused a lot of fallouts. I've seen it in families and friends that used to be friends. I mean, this thing is huge. how the impact of the political climate has really impacted, people, the church, friendships. So you just have, like I say, you just have to get to a point like this. My stand is, okay, we have a right to agree to disagree, and I'm not gonna lose no sleep. Next,
And
but some people can't let it go.
And
They
that's
can't
why,
let it go.
That's why
So,
you have to look at it and do it as love. Because how is it that we born of the same parent, or we've been friends since elementary school, but one person get voted in the office and we throw away everything for one thing in our life, and we throw away everything else? See, that's what I'm saying. So that's a selfish. So you're not walking in love, because now that's selfish. You make it about you. And that's how, and actually, that's why I love the love walk, because like you're saying, it takes it from you getting to your feelings and getting all bent out of shape. Because I always say, feelings, emotions, and affections is what the world's definition of love, because it does say that love is a strong feeling, affection, or emotion towards something or someone. So that's the dictionary that you find on Google for love. So again, I can punch you in your eye and still say I love you, because when I punched you in your eye, I was in my emotions, I was in my feelings. So according to the world definition, I still love you. But we know that that's not God's love, because God wouldn't hurt you. See what I'm saying? God wouldn't put his hands on you like that. God loves you too much to do that to you. So that's the thing. I think we're going into a worldly, we start getting, even in the church, we get a worldly definition of love, and we like things based on feelings, emotion, and affection, instead of God's love, which is be patient, be kind, do not envy, do not boast, don't be proud, don't be rude, all that stuff that's in there. This will help you. If you get that in your spirit, I'm telling you, it'll change your life, and it'll change how you interact with even yourself, because you have people that don't even love themselves. But if they get that in their spirit, it'll change their mind.
Well, the reason is because we have an issue in this country, and we have heart conditions. America has we have heart problems. We have serious heart conditions. And God talks about the condition of our heart. See, that's why we let offenses build. Just like with me and my friend, we had a heated discussion, right? So I was like, let it go. I'm done. So see, when you allow things to simmer and they stay there and they get rooted, see, we have to keep our heart clean, because the enemy is looking for us to get really dirty. And that's why the love isn't operating, because we have a heart condition and we allow our spirit to be defiled with all of this ugliness, and we don't let stuff go, and we let it, somebody say something to us. And don't get me wrong, I don't have it all mastered. I mean, I guarantee you that. But I'm just saying, it's something that you constantly we all have to constantly work at when we feel the need. Oh, how dare you say this? I have to constantly, oh boy, because I'm telling you, I had one heated even last year. I'm like, woo, Lord. But I say, okay, let it go. And I did. And then we went to dinner the next time, just like it never happened. But you see, you have to make a choice, because it can get to anybody, no matter how spiritual you think you are. It's some things that can really ruffle your feathers, And that's how these offenses occur. And then we get like I said, our heart gets clogged. It's like if people talk about the arteries, how you have plaque and clog. And that's what happens to us when we get offended and we don't let go of these things. And this person didn't think the way I should, and I'm right and she wrong, and yada, yada, yada. And we always have to lay it right down at God's feet, because we have to keep our heart clean. Because if that plaque get in there, it's going to clog you up, and you're not going to be able to allow God's hand to flow through you. And the love won't flow through us because we're clogged. See?
And that's what I love about the love walk also, because you're saying being in offense. You won't get an offense about things, because like we said.
Well, if you do, you're going to release it.
Okay, but what I'm saying, but here's the deal. When you truly walk in God's love, and then you understand, just like we said about a math problem. If you don't understand algebra, then when you look at the parentheses, the equal, you see nothing but letters and not numbers. And if you don't know how to figure that out, you get frustrated. Like, what am I supposed to do? There's no numbers in this. What is this? And you get frustrated. You get bent out of shape. You get all emotional because you don't know what it is. You don't understand it. But when somebody break down the different formulas of algebra, then when you see it, you're like, oh, well, shoot, I understand that now. Like we said, and all you're get it understanding. Once you understand it, now it's not a problem to you no more. So that's the same thing about walking in love. Now, when people say something to you, you don't get an offense about it because you understand they're not walking in love. If they're not walking in love, then they're not going to treat me like I would treat them. So whenever they say something that's crazy or off the wall, I don't get mad at that. I don't take offense to that because I know they're not walking in love. So as he said on the cross, forgive them for they know not what they do. If you're not walking in love and you say something or you do something to me, I don't need to be an offense about it because I know you don't walk the love walk. You're subject to do anything or say anything to me. So now that I understand that, I have an understanding that if you're not walking in love and that you're probably going to say or do anything to me when you say it or when you do it, I don't have to take offense because I know where you're coming from. I understand that. You're not walking in love. That's what I love about it because it keeps you in a peace. It keeps you settled, keeps you from getting frustrated because I understand that you don't walk where I walk. So if you do that, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I don't have to get mad.
And I'm going to take it a bit further, and even the offenses will come sometimes, and some of us are at different levels, and that's fine. Offenses will come occasionally. I don't care how good you are, they will come. But the key is you have to release those offenses. Because if somebody hurt you bad enough, some people, I measure people all the time, and it's some deep, deep stuff, and that's like, oh boy, I thought I had an offense, but it could be some deep hurt. And so it can come. You just have to release it, though. You can't keep it. We have to give it to him. We have to let it go, right? And only God can help us with that. And that's important for us that we release it because we have to, like I said, keep our heart clean.
About that love.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we get that. What I wanted to get into real quick before we go, we got 8 minutes, is that since Ms. Bryant came on talking about insurance and everything, and it made me think, like in, I think this is Proverbs 13:22. Did they go back to 12? Nope, it's 13. Okay, 13:22. Okay, it says, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So it made me think about a lot of times when we do insurance or stuff like that, some people, they say, well, I'm not leaving no money to my kids, or they know, or their grandkids. They're like, I'm dying. If whatever it goes, I'll leave it to the cat or something like that. But they don't have the mindset of leaving money for their kids to lift themselves up, because their kids, if they do right, will lift their grandkids up and their children. So I'm wondering why, if the word says in the love book about leaving an inheritance to your children's children, then why don't we think in those terms as far as when it comes to insurance and things like that? Why don't we look at that like that?
Well, it's just like anything. It just depends on what you have a value on, what you place a value on, right?
What you think, Ms. Brown?
So if you don't place a value on something, it just won't be important to you.
And you're definitely correct. Sometimes when I sit down and talk to my clients, the first question I ask them, what do they value? Of everything that they have, what is most valuable to them? And the first thing they will tell me is their house or their car. And I look at them kind of strange, and I ask them, okay, do you carry life insurance on that? And they'll agree. I mean, insurance on it. And they'll agree that they do. And I said, well, to be honest, the most valuable thing you have is yourself. Right. Because if you weren't able to go out and make the money to pay for those things and to pay for the insurance on those things, you wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be possible. So why wouldn't you just think to put that same coverage on yourself if the most valuable thing that you have is yourself versus your home? The home can burn down, you can replace that, but what about yourself? Right. You can't be replaced if anything happens. Right. And a lot of people don't look at it that way, but it's true.
Yeah. And that's why I said it's just like it's just like any parts of the word. Whatever God doesn't make us take or receive anything. There's parts of God that we're easy to receive. Some people, they may be very good. If God says, hey, I'll supply all of your needs, they'll say, hey, I'll receive that. And then there's other parts of the word where he may be talking about a deliverance from some area, but they struggle with that, or healing in the area. So it just depends on what you value, because he, just like God, he only going to be as big as what you allow him to be. So it's the same with this scripture. Some people, if they just, something they just don't want to receive it, they just don't become important to him for whatever reason, whether they was taught a certain way. But you could come into something where maybe you didn't learn it when you were young. Most of us didn't. But as you go along in life, you start to say, you know, you see things differently, right? And you start to learn and educate yourself.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is one thing I noticed. A lot of us, and you know what I mean by when I say us, we kind of try to like say some people feel like it might be cheating, because there's some people, they take out $1 million, $500,000, $1 million insurance policies on their loved ones, and then when they die, they get that money, and then, like I said, they can bring themselves up or their kids up. But I see a lot of us won't do that. We think it's like maybe there's something wrong if I use my parents' death to get money. You see what I'm saying? How do you feel about that?
A lot of people aren't educated.
Okay.
Like I said before.
It still come back to not being educated.
Exactly. And like I said before, there are so many things you can do with this money while you're still alive. I would want to talk to people about the living insurance and not the death insurance. And because I can educate them on the phenomenal things that they can do with this money while they're still alive, with the investments that they make on a monthly basis, that may trigger them to think, wait a minute, it may be worth me looking into. Because when they get 65, if they set it up properly, they can have $5,000, $6,000 a month if they set it up properly and don't have to worry about a dime again. I mean, look at all of the elderly people that are greeters at Walmart. I don't really see as many at Target, but they are inundated at Walmart. Why would you want to be that person that have to stand and greet somebody coming in the door at 10, 11 o'clock at night? I'm not. I'm making sure I'm funded properly. I'm making sure my boys are funded properly. So when they do get in their 50s and 60s, they won't struggle for anything. They won't have to be a greeter. I will promise you that.
There you go.
They not.
Yeah. And so and like you said, so it's just like the same thing with the love walk and kind of seeing the love book and those love words through love now, and being like re-educated on the love of God. It's the same thing. A lot of us have to be re-educated and open our mind to the things that we don't know about. So I'm always, that's why, and that's one thing about being a military brat and then joining the army myself. We're always traveling. We're always going somewhere. We're always in different countries, different states, different cities. So your mind is opened up to look at different things versus somebody that's been in one city their whole life, never went anywhere else. So that's what we have to do. We have to open up our mind and learn different things and think a different way so we don't get caught in a trap where we miss out. So, hey, just check back through the show. You need to. It records on Facebook Live. You can always go back. So go back and check out Miss Tamika O'Brien's information. Give her a call. Have her come talk to you. We got 1 minute left. So you know what we say here at Love Seek Ministries Love Talk. We will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's what, Friday? And Christmas is when? Monday or what is Christmas? Tuesday? Okay, so Monday we'll put all our Santa Claus hats on or something. But we'll see you tomorrow right here at 8 o'clock. You know what I'll say? Texas time. And the same love channel, same love time. You know what we do? I'm going to kiss her. She's going to go that way. I'm going to go this way. And we will see you tomorrow.